Hello everybody, welcome back to Pushing Paint. I'm Jonathan Strong. Thank you so much for joining me. So, we finished up our river kayak one. Hopefully that video will be edited and up on the channel here before too long. It still takes me a long time to edit sometimes. So, apologize with the delay in between, and sometimes I just don't have time to paint too. But hey, it's getting towards holiday season, and that means giving paintings away as presents, or making commissions for other people to give paintings away as presents. Both those things happen all towards Christmas time. Usually people ask for a painting with about 2 weeks to go until Christmas, and you just kind of have to explain to them it takes a little longer than that. So hopefully people get their requests in. But anyway, so today we're going to be working on a scene from a book. We'll see if you can figure out what the book is partway through it. But yeah, it should be fun. It's a darker kind of scene, but it should be cool, and hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. So maybe you guys can tell me something. Right now I've got 336 subscribers and about 108 hours, is that it? 108 hours of people watching, of time invested, I guess, if you want to say it that way. Which is awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. However, then today on Facebook, there's a video of someone making macaroni and cheese, and they dump it in a sink to start making it. Like, they dump their noodles in a sink, not into a colander, but not into a pot, but into a sink, and then they throw butter in the sink, and then they throw cheese in the sink, and I think they used Campbell's cheese soup, which is wrong on so many levels as far as macaroni and cheese being made. Whatever. My point is this: that video, when I looked at it, had 13,000 views. 13,000. And most people are watching it because it's idiotic. And I get it. So should I purposefully just make a shitty painting? Like, here's how you do everything wrong, and maybe that'll do it. That'll get my subscriber count up there. My point is this: I like doing what I'm doing. I just wish that people would like it as much as I do. And I wish that the world was a bit smarter than it is. Yeah, let's get started. Let's push some paint. Keep it nice and cool in my color palette, because the whole essence of this one is cold and lifeless, we'll get there, but there we go. So I'm starting up here. Now what I'm going to do here is just the X strokes in the sky, and this is going to be my cloudy sky, and we'll come over here and we'll add accents, but my gray, miserable looking sky here. And we are doing the undersides of the clouds here. So, we're just kind of doing this, and we'll blend these out. We're going to have our big smoke cloud coming up here, so we're going to put him down that way. And we'll get to that when we get to it, but just so we know he's there. Okay, I'm putting these guys in here. Just keeping this nice and loose. I'm using my big honking filbert here. And this way, nothing's too definitive yet. But I'm gonna have big puffy clouds like that up close. And then these are actually like almost soot, ashes, fire, things like that. Okay, up close. And then as we get further back, we're gonna just kind of do shorter, flatter ones like that. Okay. Shorter, flatter, thinner. Like so. All the way back. And we're gonna work on our hazy kind of orange color, but we're gonna leave that darker gray there because that way it'll give us a base that's gonna blend. Alright, so we're gonna have those guys back there, but we're gonna blend that out with other colors. Okay, so as you can see, we've given ourselves a bit of definition up here. Now, what I have done, for any of you that wondered how I went from what it looked like before to this, I did my darker stuff. I did my gray kind of overall everything, right? I did my darker stuff and I did it in kind of puffy, overarching lines, right? Not lines, but irregular patterns, okay? So that's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? Irregular pattern. But what I did is I created shadow. I put dark spots everywhere. And then I take white and I've got my fan brush here. And the fan brush is just so I can paint and blend all at the same time. And I just kind of dab the white on there. And then I take my fan brush, make sure I don't get any bristle hairs on the canvas, which happens all the time, but we wipe those off. I take my fan brush and I blend that white out. And because that creates such an irregular kind of look here, that's what we end up with. Okay, we end up with that very cool kind of dark, ominous, cloudy stuff. And we can come through, and this is going to be mostly black, but we still want some highlights in here, right? We're going to have some different colors towards the bottom because we're going to be reflecting fire because it's coming from a volcano. But we still are going to have, we're going to let that dry before we do that because I don't want to blend that in. Plus it'll get really odd looking, but you see that gives us that texture. Okay, it looks kind of messy, but you can sort of start to see what we're going for here. And then towards the bottom, again, we're going to fade our colors out a little bit. We're going to lose some of our definition. And we're just kind of going in flat lines like this. Just graying that out. We can come through and do a bit of dark here. Okay, you can see our, we can come through and do that. We add a bit of shadow, right? But remember, we're not puffing back here, we're just nice and flat, because that's far away. That's really far away. And then we come with our white. We come back with the white, and we just kind of touch it with the white and add that gray and kind of haze it all out. Okay? See that, get that mix. This is going to be just poofing into this guy like this, but we'll get there. But I like how that looks. It looks like a big tumultuous mess on the right in front of me, but if I look on the screen on my camera, it looks really cool. So we're going to stick with that. I'll clean my brushes here and then we'll work on our next phase, which, yeah, we'll get there. All right. It's coming along. We're going to do some mountain. You know, what I'm doing here is adding red highlights to this. Now, I found a pretty cool picture that I'm using for help here, but again, not taken directly from it, but just kind of flipping back to it every now and then for reference. Tell me in the comments how it looks. Tell me if it looks like junk or if you really like what I got going on here. Tell me if what I'm doing makes sense. Tell me I suck. I don't care. I had too many people that are watching me that are my friends, and they're not going to tell me I suck. But you know, if you don't know me and we won't see each other at work or whatever, you know, or we will, tell me I suck. I don't care. Okay, so what we see here, guys, is some more of our up close details. You just want to put little bits of dark in there. Not too much black. We're gonna blend the black out, but some darker color there just to accentuate it and give us our shadows, basically. See, I'm being very careful not to rest my hand on the painting while I do this, but you got to think about the bottom edge of a cloud, basically, and that's what we're creating here. So we got our little light edges, and then we got our shadows, and that's giving us our darker spots in here. And we're gonna blend the black spots out. We don't want too many big black areas, but that'll give us our really crazy shadows there. A little bit of edges there, so it kind of defines our edge. Not too much, but you see down here for the background, I did it in there. Kind of get both of them in the shot. I just did a real quick background on the back side here, and it was really wet paint because I want that to kind of fade away. I'm not too worried about it right now, but I needed something in there to give me some definition. So what I might do is just blend that up just a little bit. I don't want to lose my stuff now, because I'm past the point of, not past the point of blending. You can always blend, but what I mean is I'm past the point where blending is my prime concern. So we take our little bits of dark and we can put a little billow under here. Alright, a little bit in here. There we get our, now it looks crazy. I'm looking at the camera, it looks terrible, but that's okay, because there, little bits of stuff at the top, so that makes it a lot better, you know. But we're gonna work on this, start working on this background a little bit and get that in there, but we're gonna do really muted colors, you'll see. Okay, so what we've got going on here is, you can see I'm kind of got this just roughly sketched out with just a few lines here and there, just to kind of denote where my rocks are. Okay, so, and it's all these different tones and values and everything. I got darks and lights, everything, just all kinds of all over the place, right? Just because I wanted to get some color on the canvas, you know, and we got, it's just going to be this slew of rocks. So I got some blues over here. I got some blues over here. And some dark greens and everything. So we're going to put some shadow and some highlights on that, guys. There's our little path here that's just kind of right here, and we'll have our heroes here. Is sort of putting our see, I'm sort of putting little spots of light on these rocks. And we're going to come through and refine these some more with a smaller brush, but what I'm doing is just kind of establishing my lighter areas. Come straight down with it. I got my darker color that I can come in there and fix that with. Just give me some sharp edges there, right? We're gonna come through with a smaller brush for sure, but just that's just my upper edge of that rock. Come through and snag a little bit more. Just shade that down. See, I'm leaving those dark shadowy spots. I'm sort of fading them out a little bit, but I'm leaving the majority of the shadows because I want them to be there at the bottom of my rocks. And this is just angular stuff there. There we go. See how that works? We're establishing our forms. We're adding a light side and a dark side, right? And then really what we're adding is the light over part and the dark under part. Come through with that dark. I really want it dark to stay there. Lots of it. This is a very dark and light section here. There we go. Starts getting too. Put some liquid mixed in with it. All right. Got that blue on there. It's really pretty. We're going to darken this up down here. All right. Want that nice and dark. fade into my shadow color. Like so. Pull that all the way down. Alright, now that I've done that, don't put your finger on the canvas. It's something I need to tell myself very often. Don't put your finger on the canvas, John. Light gray again. Liquid. Grab a little bit more of that. There we go. You see, I'm just kind of blending things together and making my jagged edges. You see, I'm just kind of, I don't want any crazy straight lines, you know. I want a couple little angular spots, but I don't want any great, you know, kind of blend my shadows, my lights together, like that. Come through with my darks and just kind of dirtying the whole thing up before I come through and refine it with more exact brushes, you know, precision brushes. Okay, so what you can see I'm doing here is putting a light edge on the defining part of my rocks here, right? My light kind of comes from that, and then nothing is exactly bright, but what I'm doing is defining my rocks even more. So I've got this tiny little detail brush here, and I'm putting a sharper, rougher edge on here with a lighter paint. I've got a mix of blue and brown and white and black just to gray it out a little bit. Right? Put a little bits of shadow in there, just like so. Right? Those dark defining lines there. Little bits of shadow, right? Come down. I'm not too concerned with the paint mixing, but and I'm not too concerned with keeping those lines too straight either. Now, see what I'm doing is just putting that defining edge on there that catch the light side there. You can see how I went with my basic shape, and I created shadows on there, and then I created highlights. And I didn't overpower my shadows. I'm leaving my shadows there, right? But we are ending up with a mixture of dark and light rocks here. There we go. Little bits there to give us little pebbles and things. When we come through, we can even just give those the only bit of hint of not straight up the tube. It's definitely got some other colors mixed in with it, but is that almost glare white. We're going to paint the cloak on here. It sucks, I gotta cover up some of my stuff, but that's okay. We're gonna just kind of, and most of this will be edited down. I'm not gonna try and show you this whole thing, but we're just getting our basic shape in there. Just painting that over. And all that paint that I put on there in those rocks is already kind of dry because I used liquid. It kind of shows up through it, but not so much. And when we add shadow and everything, it should be good. At this point, drawing, you know. So let's see, we're gonna do a little pack strap here. Make sure my head doesn't get in the way. And a little pack strap here. Maybe make those a bit darker. It's tough because I did the whole thing with liquid because I want it to flow really nice and easy. We're gonna go whoop, like so, and come over here with one more, like so. All right. Paint a little Tootsie Roll here. Just little shadows of pack. Shows where the light's coming from. Gives them that bit of extra. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this one. That just about does it. I'd say that's dang near finished. I mean, I signed it, but I might go ahead and fiddle with a few things. Still, we'll see. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this painting along with me or watching along with me here on Push and Paint. As always, I'm Jonathan Strong, last time I checked. And thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Subscriber count's going up. You don't want to be last to the party. Get in now. I don't know what the reward will be, but, you know, maybe you'll learn how to paint. Maybe you'll learn how not to paint. Either way, thanks for joining me, guys. And as always, keep on pushing paint around.